It's the 1991 UIL 5A State Football Championship. Today, we will witness the Division II battle between the San Antonio Marshall Rams and the Odessa Permian Panthers. One of these teams will be on top of the world of Texas high school football in a few hours.
At the San Antonio Marshall Rams right after this.
Shane Wells, a junior, ready to kick it off for Permian. They lost the toss, and Marshall with Todd Siebert in the middle of their three-man kick return unit. This is Holmes from the 5 to the 25-yard line, and he's still there, and the Rams will start under the tutelage of their fine starting quarterback today. And we say starter only because we see Mark Saldana for the first series. They are really equal, Saldana and his backup David Salmon. They alternate every series, but it's Saldana's game from the opening kick today. He's a 5'11", 165-pound senior. They don't do much passing at all. They have averaged only 35 yards per game. They've only thrown 3 touchdown passes all year. And right away on the ground, gouging out about 6 is the fullback Reza. 6 foot 212-pounder. Then the Panther defensive line. Off left tackle, first down, as again Reza got the call. Tony Perez made the tackle. The Panther defense, Daniels, Moreno, Brooks, and Sims. The linebackers, Tucker, Comer, and Collins. Kelly, Perez, Wagner, and Pedersen in their secondary. And they don't give up yards easily. 154 total yards allowed per game. 1 touchdown per game on average in their 15 victories. First time we see Holmes, quick pitch, and spilled at the 41. Tucker from strong side linebacker, 62, making the stop on Anthony Holmes. He got 3, 2nd and 7. Reza spinning only to the 43, and it'll be the first big third down situation for Marshall. So 3rd and 5, and it's Holmes. And a big hole and a first down. Panther territory at the 45. Great strength. He is their strongest in the leg press of anybody on their team. This is Reza. Might have stretched forward for a half yard or so. Tucker and Comer up from linebacker, combining for the tackle. Ball at no gain in 2nd and 10. Again, toss sweep. Holmes cut back and to the 31-yard line for the first down. You saw the leg strength there. Also strong upper body, great vision, great cutback ability, and he will have his pick of college football to play. He can go about anywhere he wants.
Well, I heard that John Malkovich from the University of Texas.
First down, this steady march after the opening kick, now to the 28-yard line on Reza's 2 or 3-yard dive. Sam Brooks, the right defensive tackle, on the stop. Byzantine puts a lot of pressure on his guards today. Mark Brown on the left side and Doug Wilson on the right side, because Hollingshead's defense, with their lack of size, however big they are, plays great technique football, great fundamentals, and Brown and Wilson will have to control their tackles. So far, so good. Holmes again, big hole again, and he is inside the 20-yard line. Another first down. The 11th play of the drive. Reza to the 18. Very active start for Michael Comer, the middle linebacker, 200-pound junior. Obviously. 2nd and 10, Holmes to the 14. And we'll have our second challenging third down situation for Marshall. Holmes to the 9. This is going to be very close. He needed 5 and looks to have gotten at least 4.5. The strong side end, Tony Daniels, made the tackle. And they've got it about a 2-yard pickup. Reza has first and goal. Efrain Moreno, the left tackle, made the stop. That's confidence right out of the gate for David Byzantine.
And I think he realizes he needs to make that kind of call at this point in the ball.
5 first downs on this 14-play drive. First and goal pitch, Holmes creates his own space there and picks up about 4 down to the 5. Daniels on the stop along with Pedersen up from Rover. 4:13 to go. Second and goal. And it is Reza to the 1-yard line. Dragging 3 or 4 white jersey Panthers with him. Full house behind Saldana on 3rd and goal. Reza for the touchdown. So the decision to gamble on the 4th down pays off for Byzantine, and the Rams, and the kick by Jason Briggs is good. 7-0 Marshall. Henry Woods will kick for the Rams, who take the opening kickoff and march and lead 7-0. 3:31 to play first quarter. Permian not used to being in this situation. Only 4 times all year did they ever trail in the first quarter. And the return from the 19 up the left side with an alley to the 38-yard line. Alan Strambler sets up the Panthers in good shape. Strambler with a 21-yard return has the Panthers set up at their 38-yard line after Reza's 25th touchdown this year. And the Panther wing tee, they break it actually with both wideouts on the right side. And Case with the pitch to Hamilton. Big yardage up the middle, and he lost it. And a Ram recovery at the 33-yard line. It is Mike Gann on the Hamilton fumble. First turnover in 3 games for Permian.
I don't care how good you are of a ball club. When you get to a championship game, you cannot afford to turn the football over and stay in the match. You'll see a good run up inside, and then he's hit. Number 25 hits him with the ball. Siebert, which is a big play man for them in the secondary, and then an outstanding job by number 21, Mike Gann, coming up just getting on the football.
Hollingshead trailing and sees his team coughs it up, down 7-0. We'll be right back after this message from our local station. Permian, after seeing the 7-0 lead put up, fumbles on the first play from scrimmage. And the return from the 33. And number 33, Holmes, on first down, as we see the second quarterback for the Rams, David Salmon. And again, they will alternate every series. Saldana started, so in all probability, Salmon will open the second half, and they'll go back and forth series by series.
Both quarterbacks, good, solid performers. Nobody usually overshadows the other one. And the quarterbacks, they're friends, and they understand the situation, and they've gone along with it throughout the season.
Salmon admits it was a sophomore 2 years ago. He had trouble with the concept, and he quit for 1 year. Came back last year and accepted. You see his numbers and flags down. Movement on the right side of the Marshall line. The tackle, Tommy Jaramillo. So what was 2nd and 8 now turns into 2nd and 13. Today's game being carried on radio statewide by Diamond Shamrock Oil Company. Diamond Shamrock has carried the 4A and 5A football playoffs since 1966. Out of the eye this time. Holmes dropped for a loss at the 21. First man to get there, Will Wagner from safety, and quickly joined by Tony Perez, and that's a different Panther defense than we saw in that first drive.
It's called team pursuit. 11 white jerseys all around the football. The toss sweep to the left side. It has been successful to the right. This time they've gotten into the backfield, and all the Mojo Panthers were in the backfield trying to slow down Holmes. That's good teams for pursuit.
Loss of 7. And so 3rd and 20 for the Rams. clock rolling inside a minute 40, first quarter. Again out of the eye. And they run the reverse. Siebert lets it fly, and it will be overthrown, intended for Jason Briggs, with a flag down at the line of scrimmage. It's a holding called on the Siebert incompletion to Briggs. Siebert, by the way, defensively, the man who caused the Hamilton fumble. And so 4th and 20, and Sean Noster on to punt. And the Panthers play for the return. Permian bounce, and they will have it set up at the Marshall 46-yard line. And 1 minute, 13 seconds to go, first quarter. At the conclusion of the game, Craig and I select the MVP for this year's 5A Division II championship game. Here's the way they got here. 13-2 for the Rams. Of course, those 2 losses without Holmes. A perfect 15-0 slate for the Panthers. And statistically, they are both dominant. Both depending mainly on the run. Case the better passer. And when he passes, he usually doesn't mess around. He averages nearly 20 yards per completion. Hamilton again, big yardage up the middle. And close for a first down at the 35 before Will Flowers finally wrapped him up. We finally get a chance to look at the Panther offense with Case, Hamilton, and Williams. Bergen is the wingback, Daniels the tight end, and Kendrick Parrott is the wideout. Up front, they go with Cothran, Sims, James, Lubin, and Lockheed. And it is a first down. They list Hamilton at 192. Visiting says add about 20 pounds to that. This is Williams for the first time, and he is at the 31-yard line, belted by Flowers at 170. A better matchup for Williams than he is for the big Hamilton. Now the Marshall defense, Kenyon, Mazer, Junick, and Kalu up front. The linebackers, Robinson, Short, Noster, and Gann. And in their secondary, Flowers, Siebert, and Fuchik. Williams for 3, 2nd and 7, 32-yard line.
Will Flowers, oh man, what a message he sent from the secondary of Marshall on that hit.
Walking back, Michael Comer in to lead the sweep. Williams caught from behind by the nose tackle, Junick. Also Gann up, and that will do it for the first quarter. Junick, the 270-pound nose tackle with good penetration.
And the play here is made by number 21, Mike Gann. He took out 2 blockers by himself. The ball comes loose, but it was down on the ground. The ground caused the fumble, which could call to the officials.
So the end of the first quarter with our score, Marshall 7, Permian nothing. We'll be right back after this message from our local station.
The football with a minute 37 each quarter, you won't score too many points.
The only games in which Permian did not score in the first quarter against a couple of Amarillo teams, Amarillo High and Tascosa. 3rd and 7. Case out of the hands of Will Wagner, his top target on a wingback. Flowers was there with the coverage, and that one just inches long. 50% during the playoffs, almost 50% during the regular season.
So much emphasis is placed on the running game of Permian, trying to get in there and slow it down. Hamilton's been successful early on, that he almost is able to get behind everybody, yet it just wasn't there. Wagner just couldn't quite reach out and get the ball.
See what they decide on 4th and 7, and they decide to go for it. Wagner in motion. And Case again looks for him, has him, touchdown. open on the incompletion. They said if he can do it once, let's go right back to it. They pushed for 6.
I guess you could call it mojo magic.
7-6 as Wells out of Case's hold will go for the PAT. 72 of 76 this year. Wells, the highest scoring kicker in a single season in Panther history. That's his 106th point this year.
Permian did go backwards, basically the same play that they had run on third down. It was just overthrown, so you would think that the secondary would be able to recognize this. You want to look at the offensive linemen. They raise straight up so you know it's play action pass. They go out. Will Wagner's behind everybody, and Case can throw the football. 22nd touchdown pass of the season, and then a nice job of recognizing where his ball player was going to be.
So with our score 7-all, we will be right back at Texas Stadium.
I made a statement about the offensive linemen standing straight up. If you're number 20 in the free safeties and everybody back there, you've got to recognize that they're not penetrating as an offensive unit. It's going to be the play-action pass. Therefore, you look straight over to number 10, Will Wagner. You've got to find him. And if you're number 25, you cannot get behind him. Todd Siebert normally not fooled. That time he came up trying to be too aggressive in supporting the run.
So the Panthers tied on a 5-play, 46-yard drive, minute and a half on the 31-yard connection. Stormy Case brings him back. The second quarter has been the Panthers' quarter all year. They dominate every period, but especially the second. 190-10 coming into this game. The split kick returned to the 35-yard line. Bottom of the pile was Curtis Ormond. And Marshall, which did anything they wanted in their opening drive and then marched backwards second time they had it. Now, obviously, realizing that they got the Panthers' attention.
I think Permian coaches now, this is such a good, solid coaching staff. They've been together since they all started in the junior high system, the feeder system that supports the high school level. They make adjustments on the sidelines. They talk, communicate with their players, and they're trying to figure out how to stop that toss sweep that Marshall's been so effective with.
Saldana's turn. And the give to Holmes. Comer from middle linebacker sticks him after a gain of 2. Let's go again down to Dan Debenham. Give him 4, 2nd and 6. And again, Holmes. And Craig, again, since the opening drive, he's had to do it on his own. The holes have not been as wide open as they were.
That quick Permian defensive front unit is getting into the backfield. He's having to avoid one person in the backfield, fight, trying to get the yardage that, at coming up at second down and third down and 2, it looks good, but all on his own.
A reminder coming up at the half, Craig and I will recap all the highlights of the first half. We'll also check with Dan on the field and feature some great halftime shows from the Ram and Panther bands. Plus, we see what's new at the Texas High School Football Hall of Fame. That's all coming up at halftime. 10:22 to go. Reza will not get the first down. Perez and Comer on the tackle, and as undersized as they are, the Panthers have to go with emotion over power. And from the first series on, the emotion has overpowered the size advantage that Marshall has up front.
The only thing that one of the big things that can kill the running game is penetration into the backfield. That time, the offensive lineman, number 75, Mark Brown, was in the backfield. He's got to come off, stay lower than the man in front of him, and not allow any penetration.
Noster's second kick of the day. This one much better. Fair catch, 17-yard line for Wagner. And the Panthers will try to break the tie with a score 7-7. We'll be right back after this message from our local station. In the playoffs has won their games by an average of 29 points. Marshall by an average of 28 points. That would lead you to believe this is going to be a very even matchup, and so far it has been. 7-all, 9:31 to go first half. Permian taking over at their 17 after a 39-yard kick by Sean Noster. And the total yardage just about as even as the score. Hamilton leaping past the line to the 25. That's about 8 yards on first down. The safety, Mark Buchik, 6'3", 195-pound senior, made the tackle. And Hamilton averaging this year right at 6.5 yards per carry.
And they're doing the same thing that Marshall did on the opening drive, stretching the defense, allowing Hamilton, the ball carrier, to find a way to get back into the crease and find the daylight.
The third best year any Permian back has ever had. Byzantine said he's the great mixture of power and speed. Power inside, speed to get outside. Williams, the sophomore, bounces off the pile. Finally wrapped up at the 20 by Gann. Loss of 5. Gann up from strong outside linebacker.
You talk about team pursuit. It's a misdirection play. The OT can't really going to the right side. Guard tackle pulling, trying to kick out over there. And then everybody from Marshall tries to get to the football. Big play by Marshall at this end of the field to shut him down on that play.
Gann finished him off. The guy that sent him backwards was the strong inside linebacker, number 60, Howard Short, and it's 3rd and 7. Wagner in motion. Case looking that way. Will keep. Break a tackle and lose the ball. And the Rams have it at the 29. Todd Siebert caused the fumble and now covers the fumble. And Craig, this just does not happen to Permian. Again, they didn't turn it over the last 2 games. They win because they win the turnover battle, and they've lost it so far.
They scored on the touchdown in the previous play. They flood the left side with 3 wide receivers. This time, Case, it looks like he's going to have a good job of just getting it all on his own, but number 71 comes from behind, strips the ball, and alertness on the defense, their 40th turnover defensively this year.
Siebert recovers. Gann with the hit, but it really looked like Case lost it on his own. 1 or 2 that time for Carlos Reza. And this is something the Rams have got to cash in. You don't get this many chances 29 yards away of the Panther goal line. We have 7:35 in the half. Pauling said the team trailed after the opening kick 7-0. Quickly tied it. And now in trouble. That really looked like Case, perhaps victimized by slippery football.
And as you made a point of earlier, it looks like the ball players might be going for it with their hands, tackling the football.
Anthony Holmes, great balance to the 20, close for a first down. Steve Kelly on the tackle again today. 3rd and 1, full house. Holmes first down. Holmes touchdown. To bug out when he had his choice of holes. What a job by Cravens, Brown, Harms, Wilson, and Jaramillo up front. He could have gone anywhere he wanted.
Talking about his eyes bugging out, I jump out of my seat in this booth. What a great move in the secondary to slide through 2 defenders.
Jason Briggs makes it 14-7 Marshall. For Holmes, it's his 24th touchdown this year. It's his 80th yard today on his 14th carry.
Being opportunistic. As an offensive team, your defense gives it to you. Big cutback hole to the inside. He does that. Now watch the move here. Excellent vision, knowing somebody's going for his feet, picking his legs up. And I know this, every college recruiter in this stadium just jumped up and down saying, oh, I hope he considers that.
Their eyes are as wide as his. When the Rams on top 14-7, we will be right.
Permian coaches have got to be on the sideline telling their backside players, once you see the play going there, you've got to come down the line of scrimmage to cut off the backside cutoff play from Holmes. He's a cutback runner.
You know what he looks like on that run? Eric Dickerson. You would know. Now, is that an apt comparison or not?
Yeah, with those pads from behind flopping in the breeze there as he goes down to score.
He just gets the mask on the eyes. He'll have the whole look.
Putting some goggles on.
Yeah. Henry Woods will kick it off. One hopper returned from the 21 out to the 34, maybe the 35-yard line by Bubba Jones. And again, Permian in the unaccustomed position of having to come from behind. 6:16 to play first half. They haven't had the ball enough to really show what they're about, which is grinded out ball control.
Yeah, they turned the ball over twice. That halted 2 drives. Marshall took advantage of the last one, goes in and scores.
It was the Case fumble that led to this go-ahead touchdown on Holmes' 20-yard scamper. Homer in motion, first man through. And leaning forward for an extra yard or two, Hamilton, brought down by Howard Short.
Marshall's got such a strong defense. They've only allowed 100 rushing yards per game on the ground, 73 through the air, and they're very much like Permian. Stingy on defense, not allowing many points scored a ball game, only 8 throughout the season. They've only allowed 19 points to be scored throughout the playoffs, had 3 shutouts in 5 games.
Canyon sums up their philosophy. He says, all we try to do is hit people harder than they've ever been hit before. Hamilton again, out of an ankle tackle. Ball might be loose again. Rams reacting as if they pounced on another fumble. Short was there, along with Noster. And they say, still Permian ball. And bring up third down and long 5.
I'm a firm believer that a ball club can create opportunities for themselves. Now watch number 38 in the middle of your screen, Hamilton, the ball carrier. As he gets up and then back into the lane, you'll see that people will pull towards the football. They want to get it out of there. One hand goes to the ball. People reaching up off the ground. As a ball carrier today for Permian, you better put 2 hands around it.
Hamilton did. Held on to it. Case to the air on third down. Wagner, this will be close. The spot will tell the story. Siebert was right on him. And Byzantine wants Todd Siebert to follow Will Wagner wherever he goes today. First down.
And with that kind of hit there, Will Wagner's hoping that he kind of forgets where he's at. Excellent concentration. A big league catch right here by Wagner. Holding on to the football, hand strength and all. I mean, that's part of being a Permian football player. If you're not tough, you don't even go out and ask for a shoulder pad or a headgear. You just stay at home.
Hamilton, well contained, and he might have lost one. First man up, Gann. He's had a very active half. Loss of 1, bring up second and 11. Very evenly matched teams. Turnovers the difference here in the first half. Case again for Wagner, in and out of his hands. He first down yardage. Noster and Fuchik had the coverage. Mazer with penetration. And a big play. As the Panthers try to drive for the tying touchdown before halftime, they'll need 11 on third down.
Obviously, Case likes to roll to his left side and flood that over there. He does a nice job of squaring his shoulders up, but you're going to have now folks staying all over Will Wagner. They're going to double him underneath as well as into the 15-yard area.
Case has done it through the year this year. Around 300 yards of the best season any Permian quarterback has ever had. His brother Stoney right there, second on that list. 2 years ago, Stoney led an undefeated march to the championship, which ended here in Texas Stadium. Stormy tries to match him today. On the blitz, middle screen, Wagner. Gann wraps him up. He'll be close for a first down. And the clock rolls down to 3:05 in the half.
What an excellent call by the Permian coaches. You know you've got an aggressive defense coming. They do read it. Number 60, he almost be able to go back can tip the ball. But Wagner, he knows where that first down marker is. He does all he can to get there, and I don't know.
That is Kalu coming with the penetration, the Nigerian Nightmare. Junik, the nose tackle, gave him that nickname.
That's the kind of deal. You're glad that it's a wet carpet if you're the quarterback. Saves your fanny from getting the old rug burn there.
On the measurement, this is inches one way or the other, and not quite, so it'll be 4th and inches.
Tough call here. If you do not make it and somebody slides through in penetration before you go into the halftime, you almost give them a chance at a pretty good chance to score.
Marshall calls time. They want to be prepared for whatever Permian has. And if they don't get it, there's plenty of time. Marshall will have almost 3 minutes to try and go up 21-7 at halftime.
One of the things that Marshall coaches will want to say here during this timeout is, fellas, they might not be going for this ball. Do not jump off sides and give them the first down. Make sure that you remind yourselves of your keys. Read your lineman as it play action pass. Keep everybody inside if it's a running game. Penetration will kill them on the running game.
One of the things that Permian faces that Marshall doesn't is the pressure of having to come through in this situation. This season is already an amazing success for the Rams because they've gone farther than any Marshall team ever. Permian gets here an average of every 3 years. They have won 4, tied for another championship. And with those high expectations, as good a season as they've had at 15-0, it won't be a complete success if they don't finish the undefeated march today. Down to nothing fancy, and Hamilton has the first, slams to the 44. That actually is a multiple choice question. If you ask somebody, where did the name Mojo come from? In the book Friday Night Lights, which chronicles the history of Permian football, the theory that makes the most sense is there are a couple of fans who were perhaps overserved, and H.G. Bissinger says they started chanting out of a Motown lyric, Mojo, Mojo, a song popular at that time back in the early 60s, and it caught on, and from that, different versions of the legends have emerged. Sweet stops the clock at the 44. On the carry by John Williams, 2:32 in the half. First sophomore ever to have a 1,000-yard year. He did become a starter in week 14, just 2 weeks ago. Prior to that, he backed up Tim Ross. But his numbers made that a pretty easy decision for Hollingshead. He's averaged nearly 9 yards per carry.
And you wonder where these guys come from. I mean, Odessa's out, it's in the middle part of Texas, or the western part of the state.
Don't grow them big, but they do love their football. Play action for Case. Deep again for Wagner. And dropped at the 7. He had beaten Fuchik and Flowers. Case put it right on the button that time.
Will Wagner's just taking off and going deep, straight up the field, trying to bust through the 2-deep zone there. Will Flowers at the last moment just shoves Wagner, keeps the ball from being completed. Plenty of time, no pressure. That's a result of all the running that they've been doing in the ballgame. And you'll see number 3, Wagner, just at the Flowers at the last moment, reach out and shove Flowers.
Grab that left elbow, and it's 3rd and 10. 2:26 first half. Williams comes in motion. Hamilton with a block. Case delivers. Intercepted. Howard short with another Marshall takeaway. Three first-half turnovers. 2 by Case, a fumble, and here the interception. And Short read it perfectly.
They've tried to run this pass play 4, 5, or 6 times already in the first half. Now the defense is getting smart. As he sees what's going on, Case tries to get his shoulders squared up, but that's such a difficult throw to get any velocity on the football.
Intended for his tight end Daniels. Rams take over. Holmes spins. And on the second effort, might get back to the line of scrimmage. Third turnover of the half. This is something that Permian just does not do. On the year, they were plus 15 in the giveaway takeaway game.
Not only does it affect the scoreboard psychologically, it really boosts the team. They go out there and they realize that they've turned the ball over. They're having success on defense. It boosts everybody. Special teams, offense, coaching staff, fans.
Saldana at quarterback, 2nd and 10. Holmes again tries to going tough and a flag down on what ought to be a face mask. They give him the 45-yard line, and the clock stopped at 1:32. Off against Permian. That defense last week forced 3 fumbles. They converted them all for touchdowns. Opposite is the case today.
Tony Daniels got into the backfield and did just an outstanding job of disrupting the play. Number 62 reaches out, and Brian Tucker is guilty of the face mask.
So right at midfield. Second and a long 3. A team that is more used to going through the air probably would here with 1:15 and counting. But again, Marshall averages only 35 yards a game through the passing attack. And Reza for a couple as they apparently will elect to grind it out and settle for the 14-7 halftime lead. And Craig, if that's the case, then Permian can't feel all that bad. Only down 7.
Very fortunate to be there, and the touchdown comes on 4th and 7. I mean, they have to convert that as a big play, or they're down 14-0.
Only 2 teams scored in the second quarter against Permian all year. Amarillo, Tascosa, and San Angelo. That might be close for the first down, but we also might not have time for another play. Rams have 2 timeouts, haven't elected to use them, and now official timeout to check on the measurement with 21 seconds in the half.
Permian's the team that needs to use one of the timeouts. In case it is short, then they force them to punt. And who knows what happens. Ball slick.
Yeah, they haven't gone after a block yet, but that's definitely in their arsenal. As Hollingshead looks on, second-year head coach. 22-2-1. By a nose, first down. Every Permian head coach since 1965, that's 4 different coaches, have won a state championship.
Do you think there's any pressure in being the head coach at Permian? I mean, it's going to be a happy Christmas for a lot of coaches just to be here. If you lose and you're a Permian head coach, it's a miserable 91.
Most coaches, if you get to the playoffs, you're safe for a couple of years. Anthony Holmes, 45-yard line. Well, he looks more and more like Eric Dickerson with every carry. That is the end of the first half. And Marshall halfway to their first ever state championship. On the help of 3 Permian turnovers and an overpowering running game, they have a 14-7 halftime margin here at Texas Stadium. And Dan, again, this coming against what people in West Texas think might be the best Permian team ever. That's saying something. Marshall possessions in the first half, 16 plays, showed what they would be about today after the opening kickoff, and then no more than 4 plays on their last 4 drives, and that showed what Permian's defense wanted to be all about today.
I think the big adjustments coming from the coaching staff and the players. I think they've gotten to the sidelines and done an outstanding job of adjusting to the strength of Marshall's running game.
Awaiting Henry Wood's kick. Wood's a strong leg. We saw him in the warm-ups going from 50 yards out through. This one a dribbler and returned nicely up to the 38-yard line. Bubba Jones, 17 yards on the return. And the Panther offense set up, hoping for the tying score. Their first half drive chart: 1 play and a fumble by Hamilton, 5 plays for the score, 3 plays, a fumble by Case, 10 plays, and the interception by Howard Short. Only the 6th that Stormy Case has thrown this year. Marshall's defense last week forced 5 Aldine turnovers. They converted 2 for touchdown. Hamilton off the quick pitch, belted after maybe 2. Mazer, the strong side defensive tackle. Mike Mazer, 6'1" junior, 215-pounder, whose uncle, John Mazer, coached the first game ever in Texas Stadium for the New England Patriots against Dallas.
The same play they started the ball game with. If you'll recall, it was a play that Hamilton broke into the secondary and then fumbled on. That time, Marshall kind of setting the tone over there. One of these teams is going to come out and lobby for the momentum in the beginning of the second half.
Hamilton for 2, 2nd and 8. Patriots, by the way, blown away in that game back in 71, 44-21. Hamilton to the 45 and belted at that point by Mark Fuchik. Hard-hitting safety, and it'll be 3rd down and call it 4 needed.
That is your tempo setter. You can look at the sidelines at the end of this hit, and when Fuchik delivers the blow here, this tells everybody, hey, folks, the soda pop time is over with. We're out of the locker room. It's time to play football and win the state championship.
3rd and 4, quick pass, caught, 1st down. This is the split end Kendrick Parrott, his 25th catch of the year. Usually when they go to the air, they go much deeper than that. His playoff average will be 17 yards per catch. His seasonal average over 20 yards per catch. 4 touchdowns.
But at this point in the ballgame, it's nice to go underneath a little bit now. Pull the defense into you, draw that secondary up to your wide receivers, and then all of a sudden Will Wagner runs past the free safety for the big one.
Parrott, quick junior, 1st and 10, Marshall's 47. Pitch to Hamilton. And maybe 1. He worked hard for that 1. Carl Junick from nose tackle. He was the man who takes credit for nicknaming the Nigerian Nightmare in Dukwe Kalu. Usually double, triple teams. So his numbers are down this year, but his coach Vincent team thinks that he should be major college talent somewhere. Controlling the offensive lineman. That time the defensive lineman of Marshall, they get in touch with their man, contact, make contact, get down the line of scrimmage and into the play. 1 yard on 1st down. After the long count, overthrown. That one again intended for Parrott, and it'll be 3rd and 9. Case says that Permian football is 90% mental, 10% physical. They worked on that mental part at halftime. And it's so important that coaches, before you leave the locker room, and players, probably more the players, they get each other and they say, hey, look, let's establish this thing. Let's get out there and hit them. Let's create something. Make a play. Both teams looking to find out who's going to take control of the 3rd quarter, because this half here could fly straight by before anybody knows what's happening. Everybody in this stadium standing on 3rd, and call it 10. Open man is Parrott, 1st down, 32-yard line. Case evidently saying we got to get somebody other than Wagner involved, so they'll have 2 wideouts to worry about. Parrott's been his man in this 3rd quarter. The play-action pass allows time for Case to get into the pocket and find the receiver. Misdirection, you got confusion with your linebackers. It keeps them underneath. Parrott had gone up the field about 12 yards and then gone towards the sidelines and just makes sure that he catches the ball. Off right tackle, big yardage, John Williams. Inside the 10, 1st and goal. Craig this is one of those guys who's got to be bigger than they say. That's not 160 pounds. That looks like 180 minimum, slamming his way for 23 yards.
Yeah, I agree. That's 160. I played at 260. The power sweep to the right side, something Marshall showed a lot of professionalism with in the first quarter. Determination, bouncing off. He almost makes it to the end zone on that play.
Only 1,000-yard sophomore ever in Permian history. From just inside the 10-yard line, Jason Berlin went in motion, pitched to Hamilton, and Malcolm Hamilton down near the 5-yard line. Another tackle by Carl Junick. Don't look for anything fancy from this point on in. He needs one touchdown to break the Permian season scoring record. He has 30, which ties the record. 29 have been on the ground, one through the air, and he's had at least 100 yards in every playoff game so far. Hamilton for 3, second and goal from the 6. And Williams walks in for the touchdown. Whatever Tam Hollingshead had to say in the locker room, it had an effect. And they are a Shane Wells PAT away from a 14-14 tie. Smash mouth football, Craig.
It worked on that series. You got the toss sweep coming now. If we'll hold it right here, you need to watch at the top right of your screen. The linebackers, they have got to be able to get outside as the play continues here. Once he gets the pitch, you'll get a nice job on number 7 coming up, Kutschik, and he forces the play back inside. But the linebackers that we described are not out there. There's a clean alley straight to the end zone.
John Williams follows it for his 12th touchdown. 14-14, 7:48 to go in the third. Boy, here's a triple threat quarterback. He runs, he throws, and he blocks. Watch this.
This is country boy guts right here. Number 25, the quarterback. Look at the pursuit. He comes out, and he's the man that cuts off the inside pursuit.
Wow. That makes it 14-all after the 9-play, 62-yard touchdown drive. John Williams, 12th touchdown of the year. Capped it off, and he's got his quarterback to thank. And Shane Wells' kick wobbles to the 15. Will Unger returns out across the 30-yard line. And now, Craig, the challenge for Marshall again to answer.
And they're going to see a flying around defense. They're going to come out and be swarming to the football, maybe even more aggressively than the opening of the ball game, because they know they've got to stop the running game.
Marshall, the third-place finisher in their district, because with Holmes injured, they lost 2 of their final 3 games. Third in District 28 5A. Holmes on first down, no gain. They swarm. Might have lost one. Comer made the first contact and down to Dan on the sideline.
Thanks a lot. I am with Stony Case, not Stormy, not to be confused with Stormy. Stormy Case is older brother. You started for University of New Mexico this year. Tell me, is this mojo magic that we are now witnessing? You'd know better than others. You're the last one that quarterbacked this team to a national championship in '89. Is this mojo magic?
Yeah, they made a few adjustments at halftime, and it's showing the second half, and they're doing a great job in the second half. Drove it right down and scored the first drive, and that's what they needed. They've had too many turnovers in the first half, and this is mojo magic right here.
Craig and Dave upstairs just pointed out that your brother not only runs the football and throws the football, but he will block as well. Is it all out for you guys here when you get to this state championship game?
Exactly. I mean, every play on this team gives 110%, 110%. And, you know, as far as the quarterbacks go, it's been tradition for the quarterback to go and block, and Stormy does it as well as anybody does. And, you know, this is great for him to, you know, come show what he has, and for the whole team to just, you know, lay it out on the lines this time.
All right, Stoney Case, good luck to you in your collegiate career, and good luck to your little brother out there right now. Back upstairs, Dave, Craig.
3rd and 7 from the 33. Reza. Nothing there. This is how they make up for their lack of size. They play juiced every snap.
A lot of pursuit. They stretched the defense out that time. Scott Cherry was right over there with him. Now, you got to be able to get up into the crease. There was one back up inside. The ball carriers for Marshall have got to take it upon themselves. We've seen Permian's running backs. They're taking it to the defense. Right now, Marshall's got to pick it up themselves.
Noster, very short side of the foot. Panthers will have it in Ram territory. At the 47-yard line, we're tied at 14. David Byzantine used to coach out in West Texas, 9 years at Andrews, and he's seen a lot of Permian teams. He says this is by far the best. He's not alone in that opinion.
A lot of folks ask the question from Tam Hollingshead, is this the best defense you've ever had at Permian? And he doesn't want to say that to put the pressure on the players, but if they win this ball game and shut Marshall down at the end, that will be the topic.
Only a 16-yard punt by Sean Noster. Great field position for the Panthers, and up the middle, Hamilton. Extra effort to the 40. 7 yards on first down. Noster and Fuchik on the tackle. And they are just dripping adrenaline in the second half. Hamilton, 72 yards. Holmes, 84. That's been a tight battle all day, and you will see both of those gentlemen on the major college level, guaranteed.
Hamilton right now is really motivating his ball club. The entire sidelines after that run there went nuts, and that's the kind of thing you do. You keep everybody juiced up and the momentum on your bench.
Hamilton once again, he's going to be close and appears to have the first down. At the conclusion of the game, Craig and I will be selecting the most valuable player for this year's 5A Division II championship game. Hamilton, a pretty good candidate if the Panthers can pull it out.
Power football, good vision, knowing that he's got to bounce out one hole wider, 2 hands on the ball. Notice that. You think he didn't hear the coach talking at halftime?
The difference this year is people like Hamilton, the speed they have at the skill spots. The effort has always been there. More talent than usual in 91. Williams on the slant, cuts outside and picks up an extra 3 to the 32. Flowers chased him. And the clock stopped at 4:19 in the third.
Team speed. Usually, if you get somebody heading east and west like this, he's not going to pick up anything. He wants to go into the hole, draws the defense in there, and then gets back outside. Flowers just able to get an arm on him. He still picks up some yards. That's pretty impressive for a sophomore.
6 yards plus per carry. The only question is, why did it take him so long to be elevated to the starting lineup 2 weeks ago?
It just takes time. I mean, we're talking Odessa Permian. Probably some pretty good backs standing behind him right now.
Garrett, first down to the 21. It was Wagner in the first half, and it's Kendrick Parrott in the second half. Todd Siebert made the tackle, 11 yards.
At this point, Marshall's got to regroup. They've got to find out some way to really come back, and whether it be a blitz, something to create some aggressiveness from their ball club.
And toward the end, they call time. Gain Marshall 90-1 in the second half, and they've got the Mojo Madmen up and screaming. They've been standing this entire half. So Marshall had to call a regroup timeout with 4:13 to go in the third. First and 10 Panthers, 21-yard line. 14-14 tie. Hamilton. If he doesn't slip, he might score. He's out of bounds at the 12, and it'll be 2nd and 1.
This is a power sweep that they've been very effective with here in the second half. They scored the touchdown on it earlier. Stormy Case, he leads the way for them into the hole. Not many times do you see quarterbacks leading the way. Watch his right foot. He cuts off the left foot. It slits. As a ball carrier, you've got to cut on the outside foot or you go down. Obviously a tough deal. Wet carpet and all, but you've got to use that outside leg to make the cut.
And Williams it was rather than Hamilton. What do you think was said on that Marshall timeout over there?
He reminded his defense, fellas, you're a great ball club. Go out there and play hard.
So in motion over X's and O's. 2nd and 1. And first down definitely. Should be probably 1st and goal. Hamilton somewhere around the 9-yard line at the bottom of that pile.
When you get inside the red zone, 20-yard line in, most ball clubs have tendencies. That might have been another thing that he told his team. Hey, remember that when they get to the 2nd and 4, 2nd and 3, here's what they like to do. Some momentum, some emotional lobbying going on the sidelines, and some X's and O's. But right now, they've got to get into the backfield of Permian.
At the 10, 1st and goal. And John Williams bounces off Fuchik for the go-ahead touchdown. He's got the Dickerson mask, but he looked more like Earl Campbell on that run. If he's 160, you're 360.
Hey, that's a hard-running man. I'm telling you, that's called taking it to the defense there.
First lead of the afternoon for Permian.